Already Tracy, we challenge the scientists Loud, no Aegis Armor, Criminal Arsenal, and Inexperienced. So it's gonna be Inexperienced on scientists with Criminal Arsenal, which means that we won't have a thumper. And it's Loud, not Stealth, which means that we also have no Aegis Armor, which overall is only slightly terrifying since we barely have any perks, we are very much short on equipment, and frankly, surviving seems like a rather questionable choice, but there's a keycard over there, which is always great, so we're just gonna grab that over there. Hi there, you. And then we'll just go through here. And then, well, that's a relatively simple destination that we have to do, so we'll just step over here, blow it up, and then we'll just quickly go downstairs, which seems vaguely obvious, but right now all we have to do is find Falcon, because that's relatively important to our goals here. Hi there, you. And then we'll just grab the USB over here, since that's also relatively important to our goals, but right now we'll just vaguely check for some propane tanks, which we found one already. And then we're just gonna go down through here, and then open this door over here. Hi there. And then after, to try and find out where the other tank is, which it's over there. Which is great and all, but right now, ideally, I'm not gonna get shot, so we're just gonna leave this up over there before we grab the one downstairs. And then we're just gonna place that over there, grab this one over here, and then hopefully not me an Aegis unit when we're trying to breach in over here, since, once again, we are very much short on equipment, and that's... they're all alive. Right then, we're just gonna use the USB over there. And right now, we might have some problems with Aegis units, or for that matter, any shield units, so we've got a few grenades to hopefully alleviate that. Except for the fact that we've already... Hi there, you. Maybe not what I'm planning on, but that certainly works out, and well... if Cyber's gonna resume that, that's gonna also be absolutely fantastic. That is generally less absolutely fantastic because I don't want you over there, if that's not obvious already, but we will grab the ammunition over there, and then quickly back off over there since, once again, these are not gunfights I want to get into, so we're just going to not get into them. It's kind of the logic over here. But because it's an experience, we're using a USB, which means that we're taking this awfully slow amount of time, which means that we have to do a lot of gunfire exchange, and then subsequently not die. Because there are snipers everywhere, which we're gonna have to deal with regardless later on, so that's only slightly terrifying, but we'll just leave it at that for now. And then hopefully we won't encounter absolutely anyone, which... Hi there, you. Look, we're not doing this. It's... put up. Well, the non-shield units are far less terrifying, so we'll just leave it at that. And then, well, if anyone shows up, that should be a relatively simple clear of the non-shield units, which is great. But unfortunately, it's still Criminal Arsenal, so which means that we still don't have a CHA, which will make an experience on this much better, since then we can at least pierce a few shields, which we generally want when the, well, when the units are holding their shield up, facing us, and afterwards walking backwards towards the box, which is not a great equation for shooting all of our shots and actually hitting all of them, and doing enough damage in time before they actually walk behind literally any form of concealment or cover, such as those two walls, to subsequently go and disable the power boxes. So we're just gonna wait over here. It's gonna be done relatively soon, and then hopefully things are going to be, for the most part, relatively peaceful. At least that's kind of the hope. Now I still have an awful lot of medkits, so we could in theory take an awful lot of damage, but that's... so maybe we should have just thrown a grenade in that situation, but then again we have a medkit, so we could always just trade a grenade for, in a sense, a medkit. I mean, we still spend a bit of ammunition, which is not all that great. But maybe next time we'll just throw a grenade, and then we'll quickly hide inside, and it'll be absolutely fantastic, because I do not want to shoot unit going over there, which might be happening right around now, so... if I could actually hit my shots, that would be absolutely fantastic, since that's kind of the basis of the whole actually not dying thing. But shockingly enough, the unit actually didn't hit a single shot either, which... maybe either is not really right, since they most definitely did not hit a single shot, but we're just gonna clear this over here, say to you over here. Someone get a shield unit before the CBRC, which means that the CBRC is much simpler to take care of, which is kind of what we want. But right now we are getting ever so closer to being complete, which, once again, is the ideal scenario. But we're just going to use a grenade this time, since we probably should start using them before we use them in a scenario where we accidentally blow ourselves up, which is generally far less optimal. But then again, because we won't need our bag anymore, we're just going to leave it in there. And by now we should probably switch to our MM20, since otherwise we're going to eventually run out of ammunition. And that's not really great, because we still have at least a decent amount left, which it might not look like a lot, but then again we're using a USB. And that's, to put it quite simply, awfully slow. But right now we have some relative peace, so we can always use this time to just say hi to you over there. Hit a few shots, so that hopefully later on it'll be much simpler to just take them out, which would once again be absolutely ideal, but might not actually happen. So for now, we're just gonna wait for any units to show up. Hi there, you. That's a relatively simple solution. And ideally, we'd be able to just heal up a bit more relatively soon. But we won't do that right now, since otherwise we're going to be very much low on medkits, and we will be healing up, maybe not too early, but not optimally. So we're just going to wait for that to complete. It's going to be done relatively soon. So by now we should really just move across over here. Ignore the whole getting shot part, which might not be the best advice, but we're still alive, which is always what's important over here. But once again, because it's inexperienced, that's going to be an awfully slow reload, and that's kind of not what we want. So because we're going to follow the units over here, hi there, you folks. Maybe not what I had in mind, but then again, we're still alive right now, so we're just going to heal up. We're going to say hi to the few units. I know that we have a sniper to take care of, another one to take care of, and then we have to seriously consider moving relatively soon, which is what we're going to do right around now. And then we're just going to go over here, and genuinely, hopefully Cyber just resets, because otherwise, or actually survives, which would be rather optimal as well. But right now would be a great time for you to run outside, because I'm still over here, and well, units can spawn over there, or a sniper can respawn. But regardless, we're still alive, and that's the daily challenge done in just under 7 minutes and 45 seconds. Cheers everyone, have a great time!